I better do this.
Don't you dare.
I thought you said everybody.
No, I said I got to do this.
Oh.
This is going to get rated PG-13 pretty quickly. Yeah, you don't want that. You definitely don't want that. Do you guys have notes or just these are mine?
Nope, these are
just
yours.
It's not how you spell the K thing.
No, I looked it up.
Okay, cool. Hi. How's your life? That's good. Ours is great because we just saw The Mandalorian Chapter 4. Welcome to We Have Spoken, the Geekiverse podcast where we talk all things based on Disney Plus's Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. I'm Josiah Leroy. With me today, Mr. Thom Colbert.
Hello.
And to my right, Miss Jimbo. Jamie Leroy, no relation.
Yeah, that's me.
So, spoilers for episode 4 here. The Sanctuary, it's called. We're going to talk in depth here on our reaction and analysis for the latest episode. We're halfway through the season now. A little bit sad. But it's... I really enjoyed tonight's episode. I don't know if this is my favorite episode per se, but it felt different. Like you mentioned, Tom, there was some color in it. We finally got Gina Carano's character, so I'm really excited about that. But why don't we start just with overall reactions, why you liked the episode or why you didn't like the episode, and just talk through a few bullet points. Jamie, let's start with you.
Okay. Why I liked it. There was plenty of the child in it. He's adorable.
Oh, that's easy pickings.
But it's why I liked it.
Fair enough. By the way, we're drinking a new drink tonight.
Yes.
We, as dubbed by Lauren, the Crandalorian. Yes.
This is right.
This is the way.
Basically a cranberry raspberry margarita that we concocted.
And it's delicious.
That's good.
Oh, it's great.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way.
So you like the child.
Yes.
What else?
I also liked the chemistry between the Mandalorian and Omera. Is that her name?
Mm-hmm.
Omera.
The girl from the village.
Yes.
Gotcha.
They were good. And her daughter, Winta. She was sweet. And also she loved the little child. That was great.
Sounded like you just said winter with a Boston accent.
Winta.
Winter.
Winter.
That's her name.
It's always cold around here.
Yeah.
Hold it together, man.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know.
All right, Tom, what do we like about the episode?
This episode was...
Or not like?
No, I liked it. This episode was one of the better, I guess, themed with what we originally thought we were going to get with this Western, sci-fi Western kind of feel. A lot of elements from the old school Westerns and a lot of similarities to the sci-fi Western being Firefly. Mm. So...
That's right.
A lot of things going on in the episode. I mean, just, very, Wanderer rolls into town and saves the village and leaves episode. That's the story of the Westerns. I mean,
I liked how it was setting up to be that the Mandalorian and the child were looking for a place to kind of settle down or lay low for a bit. Mm-hmm. And then eventually we kind of see the Mandalorian says he's going to leave the child. The child's fitting in with all the children there in the little village. And we get to the point where it's clear that he can't just leave Baby Yoda here because Baby Yoda still got that target on his back.
Oh, my gosh. It's so good that the attempted assassination happened before he left because, Baby Yoda could be gone.
Oh, my gosh. Can you imagine if they did that just for 1 second? That if they killed off Baby Yoda?
I mean, it would have tied everything up nicely.
You're a monster.
He could have just kept going.
You're a monster.
Well, I wouldn't want it.
Where would his storyline go from
Guys,
here?
you heard it here. Tom wanted them to kill off Baby Yoda.
No, that's not what I said. I'm just saying if it happened, that's the director's right to do so. I think
agreed, but it would be the wrong way.
And then it would have been a whole John Wick spiral of them killing his baby here, and then he would just went rampage, and
This is not the way.
Okay, that's the only maybe possible defensible point is that it would be like John Wick's dog died.
I think my new goal on podcast is just to challenge you guys.
Oh,
wait,
it's not new. No, that's everyone's
Pretty
goal.
Sure, you always
Everyone,
do that.
We're doing the Hindsight Star Wars series, so check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Hindsight, a Star Wars series. We're going through every single Star Wars movie on YouTube and on SoundCloud and iTunes. Hold your liquor, man. You just lost your coaster.
It
She
was
is holding
stuck
it.
to the glass. Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, okay. So on that series, the sole goal of it is really just to piss me off.
Yeah.
It's not. But that's seemingly what John and Seth are trying to do.
You're gonna have to tag me into that next one.
Never. Never. We're halfway through that. We've done 5 episodes so far. It's really exciting. We've got to get them up. But with this, I can't believe still I'm morally against what you said about Baby Yoda.
That's fine. I don't want Baby Yoda, the yodeling, to die. I love the character.
It's not what you said a few minutes ago.
Roll back the tapes.
Tom's a monster.
Tapes, rewind it.
We're running out of tape here. So I wrote just kind of some notes as we went through, and I wrote Baby Yoda touching things. So
Out of context.
Oh, so funny.
out of context, it's awkward, but
Oh no.
early in the episode, we're back in the Razor Crest, so the cockpit there, and he's touching things. He shouldn't be touching them.
He's
And-
pushing buttons and just to see what the Mandalorian will do.
Yeah.
Like any child, but it's so funny.
Yeah, he could get away with it. It's okay. What is the name of the K thing?
The way I read it, it's Platooinian.
I think that's right.
Could
go
be
with it.
off, but that's how we're gonna say it.
And that was what
Okay.
again?
What?
The name of was that the name of the
That was the
Villagers or the enemy?
Raiders.
The
Raiders.
Yeah.
So we determined they look like
the pugs
pugs and
Orcs.
and orcs.
yes.
The porks.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So they're really just vile things. We don't really know much
Yeah.
about them except for they seemingly just raid. I wonder if they're a little bit like Tusken Raiders on Tatooine.
Yeah,
This is
right?
our land.
Could just
Get
be
out.
scavengers, and it's easier for them to pillage versus doing the farming for themselves.
Of course.
And they're raiding the supplies and crops of this krill farming village.
The easy way is not always the way, but it is for those guys because
Yep.
they're jerks. So we see some wonderful imagery and callbacks to previous Star Wars lore throughout this episode. One for me that I loved right off the bat was the Lothcat, which is from Lothal, and that is huge in Star Wars Rebels. Obviously, Dave Filoni has his hands all over this series. Also, should be noted the director of the episode, Bryce Dallas Howard. So Ron Howard's daughter. That's kind of cool. First father-daughter team to, I guess, get behind directing Star Wars material now because Ron Howard, he did Solo a Star Wars Story. And going through my notes here again, we can see, so the Mandalorian can see footsteps, kind of like from a thermal standpoint through his mask.
Yeah, so unlike a thermal scope that you see in a lot of the Star Wars weaponry, he has it built right into his helmet. Another reason why he never takes it off. It's a really cool feature that he has going on there.
Oh, yeah.
But
So he mentions that if he takes his helmet off, he can never put it back on, which is kind of like this Mandalorian thing.
if
Like,
someone
he'll be-
sees him,
He'll be excommunicated. He can't go back. is what he's
dishonoring
saying.
his tribe, basically.
Right.
So that calls into question a few things with Jango Fett to me. Like what?
Jango Fett and Boba Fett are a Mandalorian.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's very true. It's a common misconception.
Yeah.
Amongst amateur Star
Probably-
Wars fans.
Well, that wouldn't be me, so I don't know why you're looking at me, you Baby Yoda murdering monster.
Probably the helmets.
Yeah, I would love to know more of Jango Fett's backstory. Obviously, we know Boba's a bit, and we've got to fill in the blanks there between the prequels and what we see in Return of the Jedi. But I would love to kind of know more of Jango's background and why he got to where he got and how he got that armor, because I don't know if that's established or not, especially in the new canon. You may find it in the expanded universe, excuse me, but not anymore, I don't believe. Let's see here. Let's talk about Gina Carano. I'm really excited about her. I've been wanting her character for a long time now. And she, most notably for me, at least, was in Deadpool. Less angry Rosie O'Donnell, right?
Yep.
She is... how much do you think we're going to see her? I feel like she's going to pop up.
I do too. I don't think she'll
Quite a
be
bit.
in every episode or even most of them, but she will come back. When their paths cross again.
I feel like she's going to be more relevant than that.
I think we're kind of building up to this, throughout these episodes, I know we talked about how it kind of feels like a video game where he's like leveling up and recruiting, getting this armor.
Mm-hmm.
It almost seems like he is.
What was this, a side quest?
Yes. No, this is just he's growing as a character, obviously, but he's also making allies. So it'd be very easy for them to, now he has his Mandalorian tribe's got his back. Now he's got Cara Dune has got his back. Grief Karga probably hates him a little bit, but I feel like if the money is right, he'll help him out.
And that shot had to be.
Still got yep. And he didn't kill him, so maybe he owes him one.
100%.
So I don't know. We kind of got this kind of alliance growing where, maybe he can call in some favors and we'll get a big fight at the end here. So,
see, I think we'll see her relatively often, and this is perfect. This is exactly where I wanted to go. So, I was disappointed that Taika Waititi's IG droid was gone right away because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need more of him. Which I imagine again we'll see another IG.
He's pretty funny.
She's like second billing on this to Pedro Pascal. I don't know why I just lost my train of thought right there.
Because I'm not sure.
But I'm a big fan. I'm excited to see where her character goes. I really liked how her character was just this kind of badass.
She's a badass. For sure.
We get into a little bit of her background,
which was kind of confusing.
It was a little bit confusing
based on how I understood it, at least. I mean, she is. We got two hints about her backstory. One was that she was an ex-shock trooper, and one that she was a drop soldier for the rebellion. So shock soldier, I think of the Empire and maybe Clone Wars era.
It was definitely Clone Wars.
But she's not a clone, so it's kind of like a weird feel for me, unless they recruited people.
And we assume she's probably about the same age as the Mandalorian.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Pretty close. So I don't know that she would have been able to fight. She wouldn't have been a fighter in the Clone Wars.
I mean, we talked about defecting though during the episode, so maybe she did both. Maybe she was just a bodyguard. I mean, we had some kind of I don't know what the word is. We weren't sure about unanswered questions ourselves about this. So we'll have to see, if we get any more backstory. We keep getting more backstory about the Mandalorian. Maybe we'll get some more about these other characters.
Yeah.
Or a spin-off series.
She's one I can see getting a spin-off Marvel mini-series. Those have kind of painted the picture for certain characters throughout the years, and that's got her written all over it. But I love that they dove into it. I like the name Cara Dune. I think that's really cool. That's very Star Wars.
Did you see that Disney Plus has those small like stories about the women in Star Wars?
Yes.
They're like a couple minutes long each. I bet they have one for her. I haven't seen them.
No.
Not yet.
Okay, maybe they will then.
The Forces of Destiny.
Yeah,
yes,
Destiny
right.
something.
Yeah, they released those as kind of like small webisodes throughout the year. They're kind of cool. The animation is amazing.
We watched a couple of them, but we had to watch the intro and the credits after each episode, and they're only like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
We're like, oh gosh.
Yeah, they're really short.
But no, they were cool. It was cool stories.
Very
Good
nice.
voice acting.
We watched the one Daisy and I did with Ray, and I don't think we actually even got past that point.
Ray and BB-8.
Yeah, first one.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
The Tremors things come out of the ground.
Did you know the voice acting is not Daisy Ridley there?
It was very good,
yeah.
though. It was spot on.
It's like spot
you can
on.
like kind of tell.
But some of them reprised their roles, I thought, for it. I'd have to circle back to that.
Yeah, somebody else voices Maz too.
Yeah, those were really, really good.
Very good though.
I know Leia was a little off. We watched a couple of Leia.
That's
It was
right.
good, but it wasn't.
I still got to jump
Yeah,
into
well,
I got to jump into Star Wars Resistance. I'll get there soon.
I watched the first 3 episodes and I enjoyed it, and then I didn't have any services to watch it, but now I do. So I'm gonna catch up on Rebels and then dive right into Resistance.
I've never seen an episode of Resistance.
It's another animation adjustment, but besides that, it's very good. So
it was not accessible. Like Rebels, you could find, and Clone Wars was on Netflix previously. Resistance, even just when it came out on home video in August, it only came out on DVD. It didn't come out on Blu-ray.
under the radar kind of episode.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. But we, circling back here, we also see a little bit, or we not see, but we hear of the Mandalorian's background, that he was adopted, right? Essentially by the Mandalorians.
He
brought him in.
confirmed that he was a foundling and that the Mandalorians took him in after his parents were killed. So we got that background information locked in.
Yeah, that's one more step there. If you're just joining us, we appreciate it. this is We Have Spoken. You can watch the full video at youtube.com/thegeekiverse and listen to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. Cara Dune, so it reminds me of Caleb Doom, which is the name of the guy from Rebels. Oh my gosh, why am I thinking the master from Star Wars Rebels? Why am I drawing a blank here?
Kanan?
Yes. So his like Jedi name, or his actual name was Caleb Doom,
Yes.
which is kind of a nice, almost a little callback. I don't know if it's
a
just
lot of name recycling.
for sure.
It is,
Even
yeah.
even with the stuff that's non-canon, we see a lot of those names that were used, like kind of recycled into stuff that has become
Even
canon.
first and last names like Qui-Gon Jinn and Jin or
I mean,
so.
Ben Solo, even in the non-canon, wasn't it always Ben Solo?
It was kind of a miss. So here's what happened. It was Anakin Solo,
Yep.
and they had Luke and Mara Jade had Ben Skywalker.
Okay, so they flipped it.
Yeah, they kind of took the best of both worlds there. And I always thought it was funny when people get pissed off that they named him Ben.
That's fine.
And I'm like, why? Like, that's
Yeah.
kind of how it was,
What's the
essentially,
problem?
in the expanded universe. It is what it is.
Would they prefer Anakin?
Oh, my gosh. I doubt it.
Ugh.
So,
His last name is made up anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, that's true. Wow.
Solo.
Yeah.
that's garbage.
We'll go with that.
Just go
My
with
least favorite part of Solo.
Han by himself.
Yeah. Han all alone.
Hun, you need a shower.
Moving forward.
We see the ATST.
Yes, so I think the previous episode, the highlight had to be the Super Battle Droid that we saw. Is that the last episode, or am I losing track here?
Yep, it was.
Okay, the Super Battle Droid flashback was like the best, probably like CGI or animation, whatever they're doing there, of that episode. And then the ATST in this one, just the way that thing moved and walked. Again, just movie quality, 100% with this show, and I'm loving it.
I wonder if the Super Battle Droid was practical. That'd be interesting, huh?
What do you mean?
Like an actual built model.
Practical effects rather than CGI.
Yeah. So, like, maybe they built a model of
Yeah.
probably not, but I know in this new era of Star Wars, that is always an emphasis that they try to do that because that's a throwback to the original
Stick to
trilogy.
the
I mean,
roots.
our Yodeling here, the child, is puppet.
Mm-hmm.
It's all they talked about doing CGI, but they went with the puppet. Are you laughing at my Yodeling?
No, he's so cute.
Oh,
Stay
yeah.
on target.
It's not my fault.
Yes, we know this. The ATST, so we see the red eyes, kind of a cool little thing.
And this was an abandoned vehicle.
Yep.
So these
So they modded it, maybe.
Klingons, what are we calling them? Clitonians.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Star Trek
That was
over
for
here.
you.
Klingons.
Klatooinians.
These Klatooinians must
Do you
have
think that
found.
That means they're from like Klatooine.
I imagine
She'll be here all night.
Klatooinia.
No,
Maybe.
it's not a joke.
No, I know what you're going with.
I have no idea.
Anyway, they must have found this thing. I mean, it looked pretty beat up and run down, and
Yeah.
unless they were like camouflaging it, but I'm assuming it was an abandoned or found ATST, and they used it for their own villaging,
It's found money right there.
pillaging, villaging.
They're villaging. Villaging is much nicer than pillaging, I would say.
What does that mean? Like you're just visiting a village?
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we calling
the
these things
sights.
We're
again?
villagers. The Crandalorian.
It's the
Mandalorian.
Crandalorians getting to me, mixing up my words.
Or the Grief Cargarita.
Yes.
That's the other one. I think Crandalorian is just perfect.
Crandalorian
Good
is
job, Lauren.
funnier.
She nailed it. Just, like within 3 seconds of me telling her, like we got to think of a fun, classy Star Wars name to call these new drinks.
We should
She's
have
like
people-
Crandalorian.
We should have people give us like just drink names, and then we'll just try to make them based on the name.
That's a great idea. Ask for suggestions.
Go ahead.
Hey, can we have some suggestions for drink names, and then we'll just make a cocktail out of it, and
You
then
know, Star
we'll
Wars
share
themed.
some recipes.
All right.
We'll let you know.
Let's see. So we'll get into the Facebook chat here. So our friend Tom, who I called Thom last week,
Yeah, sorry about that, Tom.
as a nod to this Thom, but you know,
Nobody's name is actually Thom here. They're all Toms.
It was clarified.
Josiah's
We
just,
talked last week.
you know.
we did. So Tom says, "My heart dropped when I thought Baby Yoda was killed." Do
Agreed.
you guys think it was going to get to that point?
Do you agree, Tom?
Oh, I agreed.
Oh,
Fingers crossed.
That's really weird opinion.
No, I wasn't. I mean, I kind of figured that he would just miss or something. I wasn't expecting Cara Dune to drop the guy, but I am glad that Baby Yoda's still alive. The
I was
Yoda.
wondering what the shot was that was taken.
I thought he missed,
Oh, maybe.
or if Yoda was going to catch it. Baby Yoda was going to catch it.
That would have been cool.
Really cool.
Jeez, that would have been really advanced for a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
But hey, it just did
50-year-old.
that to the. No, we determined basically at the age rate that's the equivalent of about a 5-year-old human.
Yeah. Every 10 years in this species is 1 year in like basic or human or whatever you want to go by.
Yeah. Tom also said, glad there are more planets out in the galaxy to explore.
The color. I was
Color's
so happy
beautiful.
to see a non-sand planet.
Call back to Endor a little bit. And they mention Endor in the episode.
That's
And
true.
the ATST was very Endor.
Yeah.
That's
it's
true.
Definitely kind of a path drawn off of that.
Yeah.
And that even leads, Gina Carano's character, when we first meet her, is talking about that after they get into their skirmish. And what do we think about that, by the way? That was kind of some cool choreography there, right?
The fight
Between
scene?
The Mandalorian and...
It was surprising
Cara.
to me that when the tracks stopped, the Mandalorian didn't think to look up immediately, because I did, and I'm not a fighter.
Oh, so you just... The Mandalorian's a jerk now.
No, I'm just surprised that he didn't look up.
Tom hates Baby Yoda. Jamie thinks she's better than the Mandalorian. This is just terrible, guys. I'm so sorry for all this behavior.
It could have been his armor. He could have just been kind of like confused. Like, wait a minute. Like, is this?
Wait a
am I
minute.
malfunctioning here, or did she disappear?
Yeah.
Can she fly? There's a lot of
Probably.
questions that could have
Can
gone
she
through
fly?
his head.
Getting back to Gina Carano, you could tell I'm quite obsessed with this character. Do we think she was kind of like an assassin? She mentioned
No.
like kind of taking care of.
Clean up, she said, right?
Yeah,
She's definitely.
I
I guess
just
that
got-
could have been a Rebel Alliance
I
thing.
just got ex-military. That's the only vibe I got
She's
from her.
wanted.
Because I guess they could have been like eliminating Imperial targets.
Yeah, I mean, she could have just been like a rogue leader, kind of going in with a small group.
She doesn't seem Rebel Alliance. And why wouldn't she be with the New Republic?
Why doesn't she seem Rebel Alliance?
Because the Rebel... she seems like she's on her own now.
They said
She's
rebellion.
like a badass loner who's like trying not to get caught.
She seems more like the Mando to me.
Right.
Well, I'm sure she's got issues like everybody else does, so leave her alone.
Oh, well, fine. All right, Cara. Brian Patrick Stoyle, good friend of the Geekiverse, listed a lot of thoughts here. He said he thinks it's cool that Imperials being referred to as imps has made its way to on-screen usage now. I agree with that.
Oh, that's cool.
Loving Cara Dune and her instant rapport with the Mandalorian. Let's see. I was tickled. It's fun. I was tickled. I like that, Brian. I was tickled that last week the fandom was asking, how does a Mandalorian eat if they never take their helmet off? And then gets answered in the very next episode.
That's funny. That's weird how that came up then.
And we thought that was a little weird that he seemed like he was in plain view almost.
Yeah, he took his helmet off in the middle of the day to eat right in front of the open door where someone could walk right in.
And turn around and see
Scary.
him.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Cara killing the bounty hunter at the end with the off-screen blaster shot was a bit of an underwhelming surprise, as that filmmaking tactic was used with Mando and IG-11 in Chapter 1.
That's
I agree.
Right. That's right.
Yep, that was definitely recycled. Brian also loved the red-eyed AT-ST. It was menacing. It created gorgeous imagery during the firefight. It was great symbolism to see the Imperial tech corrupted, quote-unquote, by these looters. So we mentioned that earlier. And then Brian lastly says, while we've seen this kind of story in the Clone Wars before, it was amazing to see it in live action. I agree.
Yeah.
And of
Yep.
course, like we said, we've got Dave Filoni here, who's kind of, he is definitely a big part of this show here.
He's great.
Yeah, he is wonderful. I can't wait to see what's after Star Wars Resistance, because the second season is all we're getting,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird to me.
I'll take whatever he's doing. That's fine. I'll take it.
Maybe he's too devoted to this right now.
Could be.
He should get a movie.
Yeah.
He should be a
I
part
mean,
of
or
it.
he'll just start taking over miniseries if they do that for him.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Anything on The Mandalorian that we did not get to, that we want to get to? Wrapping thoughts here on episode 4.
I don't know if we saw any like leaked imaging of him with his helmet actually off. I know we know who's playing him as an actor. But what are your guys' thoughts that he's not actually a human? Did you ever think about that?
No, I never did. Because his parents were, but
Oh yeah, we didn't see him as a kid.
There's
That's
always
right,
a possibility
that's
that it's false, but I wouldn't think so.
Yeah. Okay. Then I answered my own question. That's all I had there.
Do you think Boba Fett in Return of the Jedi is the Boba Fett that we saw in Attack of the Clones? That's a common.
There's a theory that someone like stole his armor and like that's who died, and Boba Fett's still around. I
Right.
mean, I'm not really sure on that one. I do
guess
think
it's possible. But why?
why what
Why would that happen? Why would that be part of it?
I don't know.
to answer questions because that's what Star Wars does.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the only other thing I wanted to touch on was I liked that intro scene where I forgot her name already, but the mother of the village and her daughter are under the basket.
Omera.
Omera and her daughter are under the basket in the pond, and the raiders are coming in. That was the very like. It just reminded me of like all like those Western movies, the John Wayne movies, even like Robin Hood Disney animation movie where they're hiding from someone and they're breathing through the reeds, and just that whole like feel was just really really cool to me. So props to that Western feel and that scene right there.
They're sticking with it for sure.
Yeah.
It's worked so far. Any wrapping thoughts on episode 4, Jamie?
I don't think there's anything I haven't already said for myself.
All right. I like this episode. Felt most different to me than the first 3. It stood out even more so than I had anticipated. I feel like 1 and 2 kind of blended a bit. 3 was its definitely its own with how much action there was. And then I thought there was a fair bit of action in this too. I really liked the villagers kind of getting taught by Cara and the Mando how to fight, and even laying out the traps that they'd have to lay down. That was good. I loved Cara kind of going after the ATST and shooting it in the one eye before taking it down as it steps into the water and kind of luring it into the water there. And I think that was kind of everything I wanted to touch on. So we'd love to hear from you, the listener and the watcher. What was your favorite part of the episode? What did you think of it overall? What are you looking forward to as we move into the second half of the season of The Mandalorian? Do you guys like Disney Plus? Yeah.
I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
I mean, it's kind of like I'm need like the background noise on, or we're bored and want to throw a movie on. It seems to be our go-to now.
Yeah.
There's not much going on with. I mean, Netflix and Hulu. I mentioned this last time. It's been around for so long now that I've covered and binged everything that's already on it. So it's kind of nice to put this on and be like, oh, I mean, I haven't seen this Christmas movie in so long. What did we have on earlier, Jamie? The
Santa Claus?
No, we had
Before
Santa
that?
Claus on, and then we had like Once Upon a Mickey's Christmas.
Oh, yeah, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas.
It was just great watching those again, and just
Yep.
I don't know, just new stuff to watch. It's just new material. So,
Well, because you like Disney Plus so much, that is great, and I have great news for you. The Geekiverse has a monthly show called Pluscast. So we talk about everything Disney Plus. It's in the first week of the month. So new episode coming December 4th. You'll be able to watch it on YouTube and, of course, listen to it where you subscribe to podcasts. We did get a little bit into The Mandalorian, but not too much because we didn't want to step on this show.
it's right there.
But it was, I gave John and Amanda kind of their chance to talk about it. But we went through kind of some series we wanted rebooted, what we've watched so far, what we think of the interface, and we talked about some impressive day one numbers. Disney thought they were going to get to 10 million within a year, and they got to that on day one in terms of subscriber base. So lots of good stuff going on there. Also, do you guys like Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Jamie, that's great. I have a show for you.
You
so,
do?
Hindsight, a Star Wars series. You can check that out. It is a 10-part series. We are covering all 10 Star Wars movies in the road to Rise of Skywalker. Me, John, and Seth are talking about all of the movies, one by one, analysis, reaction, as if they had just come out. It's kind of a fun little series. We've released a few of those so far. Spoiler alert, the prequels are basically John and Seth just yelling at me because of how much I love the prequels. So if you love those, you are already in the right place, thegeekiverse.com. For Jimbo, for Tom, I'm Josiah. You guys ready?
I don't know. I'm gonna mess it up.
Here we go.
That's okay.
We have spoken.
We have spoken. This is the way.
This is the way.
Until our
paths
cross.
cross.
Yay.
We tried.
We did it.
I really think that went really
We
well.
got to write this down next time.
I mean, it was perfect. We were all in sync.
There's just a certain little something that I can't explain. I know it's stupid, so I think I'd rather hide it away. Back where it belongs. And there's a certain little someone that I've gotten to know. Over the past few years we got a little close. But where do we belong? And I don't find you in thoughts. 'Cause everybody makes me feel like something is wrong. But I don't like this at all. 'Cause Hollywood is oh so good at leading me on. So there's this tiny little secret I've been trying to keep. But for the last few weeks it's got me losing sleep. I hope it doesn't show. I've got a little bit of trouble with the status I'm in. It's like the moon has got me stuck around its orbit again. But you don't need to know. And I don't find you in fault. 'Cause everybody makes me feel like something is wrong. But I don't like this at all. 'Cause Hollywood is oh so good at leading me on. And on. Why worry? It's not your fault they make these movies to lead me on. And I don't find you in fault. 'Cause everybody makes me feel like something is wrong. But I don't like this at all. 'Cause Hollywood is oh so good at leading me on. And on.